How many goals do you have that could do better if you felt more motivated? I would say all of them. I added up all of my goals the other night. I sat around and I made up a list. It took me maybe 10 or 15 minutes. And in that short time, I came up with 63 goals. And I asked myself, so why am I not doing them? And I had 63 million answers why I wasn't doing them. But I think that may have been a bad question. So I changed my question to, what would make me want to do those? And I think that gets us to the heart of what motivation is. Motivation, we think of motivation as something that's a lot of work. We hear no pain, no gain, or we're told give 110%, and that's supposed to motivate us. But I think motivation is actually fun. It can be easy. The more motivated we are to be more motivated. So it becomes sort of a self-perpetuating type of issue. It ought to be automatic, and then it's no work whatsoever. It's actually easy. But within motivation, there's a subset, and that's self-motivation. And I think self-motivation is actually a flawed concept. Because when we talk about self-motivation, it implies that there's motivation by other people. We hear about coaches motivating us, teachers, leaders, things along those lines trying to motivate us, when all of that is really outside stimulation. People around us trying to get us to do something, trying to get us fired up. So only I can motivate myself. Other people can give me all kinds of great stimulation. A coach can fire me up to win the game. A teacher can get me excited about a new concept. A leader can get me to believe in her or his vision. But only I can flip that switch and decide I'm going to do it. So therefore, that's why I think motivation is easy. I don't have to have this labyrinth of convolution to try to make me motivated. I can simply want and go. So motivation can be that simple. Stimulation isn't necessarily a bad idea. I mean, think about the coaches that you've had that gave you a pep talk at halftime and got you to go out and win that game. Think of a teacher that got you to believe in yourself. Some of the students we've heard today talking about being good public speakers, getting up in front of people like they just did or will later today. Teachers and their leaders inspired them to do that. Or a sales manager that gets someone to go out and improve their quarterly sales. We think of those things as motivation, but really those people are stimulating us. And we get to the point where we go, I'm going to do it. So stimulation is a great thing so that it gets me to motivate myself to do that. Think of someone saying, I really want this new car. Now I have to motivate myself to save the money to get it. In that sense, want and motivate appear to be two separate things. But I don't think they're separate things whatsoever. The want implies that the motivation is already there. When we separate those two things, we tend to put on the brakes. I really want this, but I have to be in the right mindset. I really want that, but the timing has to be right. I think that's putting on the brakes, and we don't need the mindset. We don't need the timing. We don't need the people telling us what to do. I have me to do that for myself. All I need to do is say, I want, go. So motivation can be as simple as that. The process of wanting, I say process as opposed to concept. We often think of wanting as a concept. Maybe we don't even think about the process of wanting. But there are some very specific things that we can do to ensure our getting what we want. And this is part of the motivation process. If we identify our goal much better, we have a better chance of achieving it. Think about the difference between I want a new car and I want a 2018 cherry red Porsche 944. I can taste that second one. And so having that goal be more emotionally charged is going to make us achieve it more easily. It will make the motivation process easier. I have a concept I call positive worry. A lot of times we think of worry as a negative thing. What if this goes wrong? What if they don't like me? And that list could go on forever. But what if we turn that around? What if this goes well? What if people like me? What if I succeed? And that type of emotion is going to charge us and propel us toward achieving it as well. Visualization is a big part of motivation. If we actually see ourselves achieving something, not just wishing it, but actually spend time imagining what it would be like to achieve it. Imagining what it would be like to be doing that. There was an experiment that was done a number of years ago with people shooting free throws in basketball. 3 groups of people. The first group was told to go to the basketball court every day and shoot free throws. Second group was told, don't go anywhere near a basketball court, don't even think about it. The third group was told not to go to the basketball court, but to actively visualize themselves shooting free throws once a day. And a week later, when they went to the basketball court, the group of people that visualized shooting free throws were as successful as the people that actually did it. The brain sometimes can't distinguish the difference between the real thing and imagining it or visualizing it. So visualizing things can be a very strong component in terms of motivation. Our self-talk. We talk to ourselves all day long. And I don't mean simple ways like, Charlie, how are you? I'm fine, how are you? I don't mean that kind of talking to ourselves. I mean the thoughts that we think about ourselves. They become prescriptions, if you will. Every time that I start a class each semester, I have my students do a name game. And as soon as I say we're going to do a name game, I can hear them thinking, oh my gosh, I am so bad at names. Some even say it out loud. But when they think they're simply describing themselves, I'm bad at remembering names, instead of being a description, it actually becomes a prescription. And so our subconscious hears us saying, I'm so bad at names, and it believes that we want to be bad at remembering names. So when we're introduced to someone, the subconscious distracts us, and it starts making us think, I hope I don't forget their name. And so by the time the person is finished saying the name, we've forgotten the name. But we actually got what we expected to get. An expectation is a very powerful tool as well. If you want to do something, if you want to do well on a test, or you want to get a new job, but you expect that you're not going to, then there's no way that you're going to do that. So expectation plays a huge role in motivation in our getting what we want. If we're not getting what we want, there are a couple of reasons for that. Maybe we don't want it well enough. Maybe we say we want it, but we don't really spend the effort to want it that well. Or maybe we don't want it. Maybe it sounds good to say it. Maybe we think we want it, but maybe subconsciously we really don't want it. Because if I want something well enough, then I'm already en route to get it. I don't need to convince myself. I don't need to have other people tell me that I want it. I'm already in the process of getting there. I also think we use the word want wrongly. We say we want things all the time, but I think we misuse the word want in the sense that we may have poor objectives. So instead of wanting to have something, I want a new laptop, I want new clothes. Instead of wanting to be something, I want to be popular, I want to be vice president. Instead of wanting to get something, I want to get attention, I want to get this project done. I think if we want to do things, I think doing is a far more powerful verb and can motivate us more strongly. If we want to excite our team, if we want to build a business, I think those kinds of want can be much, much more powerful. I also think we overuse the word want. I would say maybe a third of the time that we say, I want something, we'd be better off saying, I'd enjoy. For example, I want to go traveling. I want to visit Upper Wisconsin. Would I be better off saying, I'd enjoy visiting Upper Wisconsin. I'd enjoy writing a book. So we save some of our use of the word want. I also think sometimes we say want when we really mean need. I want to paint the hall. No, I need to paint the hall. I want to go to the grocery store. No, I need to go to the grocery store. I don't have anything in the house. I think we should save our wants. Save the times we use the word want for things like pursuing. I want to pursue my dreams. Save the word want for I want to create. I want to create success. So motivation is actually pretty easy. It has to do with flipping that motivation switch. When I simply say, I want, I go.